and then be like, we're like, yeah, we're just gonna yell and then we're gonna be fine and then we're gonna get over it. So that's the kind of beer I like to have.
Yes. Thank you.
2 days later.
I mean, I have my own thoughts on like why he's doing it. I think, if you think your brain was broken by the 2024 election, I think we're looking at a case where someone's brain was broken even harder.
Bro, it's so funny because that's so innocuous. Like, if somebody was, like, making me defend something that Gavin had said that I totally didn't agree with it, that might be, like, one of the most harmless ways I get out of it. I'll be like, oh, he's brain broken, he's a shitlib.
I actually think that in the days after Trump was reelected, one of us said on air, this broke my brain. Like, my brain was broken by this. I think many people's brains were broken. That's a common expression. Jake's acting like that's some sort of an offensive, like, out-of-line slur or something. Oh, you can't say brain broken. That's so.
Also, this is just a recover. This is the
to try to rip
what's
off
his name?
how Francesca edited
The Vanguard
covering
the drama between the
2 days
Young
later,
Turks,
Chink, and Francesca,
her
fucking style.
No Riz, Fran
support.
has all the Riz, Jake has none.
Okay, so, but look, guys, if she had said that about another host, I probably would have drawn the line there. But it's about me, so I wanted to give more leeway. My brain is broken. And by the way, that's still, okay, the first time she's getting super personal. Collaborator, maybe that's a political opinion. Now we're a broken brain even.
I don't even think that if you were in like first grade, you could seriously be reprimanded for saying someone else's brain is broken. Like he's literally trying to gaslight us all into thinking that that's like offensive. Or even an insult. It's not even in fact, she was kind of being nice to him by using that term. Like, I think his brain's broken, like almost removing his agency and not casting any judgment on him morally. And like, oh, I don't think Jake's a bad guy. I just think his brain is kind of broken right now because of reasons X, Y, or Z. It's not personal at all.
No, 100%. I remember when Michael Moore suggested that Michelle Obama run for president. We were like, well, Trump really broke his brain. Like, he'll get it. He'll recalibrate. And he did, right? He did. He came back to reality and was like, okay, Michelle Obama's actually not going to run for president. We were like, that's a good thing, Michael.
Even though we were supposed to have a beer and we were supposed to hash it out and be okay afterwards, but apparently not okay afterwards. But then that was the tip of the iceberg. She continued again and again. Here's the next one.
Posting his L's.
I do think it's sad that even though they allow people like us into the fold and the fray, they refuse to learn from us or listen to us. And I think that when you have been doing this work for so long and you still cannot grasp the idea of intersectionality, how race and gender and class all intertwine with one another, and how the right, the fascist, is to divide us based on these lines. Like, I don't know like who you are. Like, I don't even know if you're smart. You know what I mean? I don't even know. First of all, I don't know who your political mentors are. I don't know who you look up to. I don't know what your touchstones are. I don't know if you know your history in terms of like civil rights, women's rights, gay rights struggle in this country. I don't know anything. I call into question all of that. It sounds like you are just an opportunistic mouthpiece who wants clicks time and time again.
Ooh. Again, that is not even going to crack the top 100 nastiest things I've said live on air in the last 365 days. The fact that that's what he can reach to be like, well, now it's getting really serious. Again, it's like, bro, toughen up. Where's your thick skin? You constantly brag about how you're tough, you'll take it, oh, it's just directed at me. That was innocuous. Okay, that would not even really stir me and Gavin. If somebody said that about us, we'd be like, whatever. Like, you're gonna have to really bring out the fucking horns if you're gonna, get under me and Gavin's skin. You know what I mean? That's just basic disagreement. That is how the internet works. And I feel like one thing Cenk doesn't seem to understand about the modern internet is that people like it when you're passionate. People like it when you lock hordes. You have to get loud and vociferous and fucking angry in your debate. It's gotta be passionate. People want to feel your sincerity, and he used to understand that. He used to bring the heat so hard.
Actually, you guys subscribe to the Vanguard.
He used to bring the heat so hard. It was like the best thing about him. He was such a bulldog. He was so passionate and aggressive, and that's what we need. He seems to have lost all of his bite. He seems to just be bitter and an old man, and he's entitled, and he wants people to agree with him and kiss his ass all the time. That is not a formula for success on the internet, and so he's grasping at pearls when nobody else agrees with him. It's crazy.
Also, like, Cenk has a YouTube channel with over 6 million subscribers. The clip he just played of Francesca was broadcast on her channel, The Bitchuation Room, which has 150,000 subscribers, and that's really impressive. Quite a lot more than we have. And all you guys should definitely go sub to Francesca's channel so we can get those numbers up. But come on, Jake, come on, like really, you're gonna act like this is some grave transgression?
Check your meltdown. Let me see if I can find this video real quick. It's gonna be good. I got the strangest feeling. Don't wake me, I'm not coming down. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that on Kisbarian. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go there. Hold on. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. I think this is the thing right there. Chink explains. Let's see. 26 minutes. It's only 26 minutes. Don't worry about it. Well, while we're waiting, does anybody else have this cool little fucking Deer Park water aluminum bottle? It's fire, bro.
Recently, Francesca Fiorentini asked us at TYT to take her podcast, The Bitchuation Room, off the network. And we happily agreed to that. And today, I'm going a little further, and I'm going to take Francesca off the network entirely. So you won't see her on any of the TYT shows going forward. So I want you guys to know why I'm doing that and how this whole situation isn't really about Francesca. It's about TYT, our community, and what we stand for. And so we're for open minds and open hearts. And so I want all of you to know that, and I want to build a community that believes in that and invites people in that believe in the same things. And by the way, if you don't believe in the same things and you say, no, I have a strict ideology and I have no open mind about that, no problem. There are tons of shows out there for you guys. So first of all, we've had some disagreements. I certainly have with some of the far left, but I think they've been relatively small. But if you think that they've been large, no problem. So they've been around the issue of crime. Did crime rise between 2019 and 2023? Well, that's a fact. It did.
Nice.
But it's okay. We could have different interpretations of it. That's not an issue at all. We certainly are against police abuse, and we fought against it.
Yes, it
I would
is.
argue.
Don't jinx me.
At least as much as any show on the planet, and perhaps a lot more. And I take great pride that Benjamin Crump, among others, said that Trayvon Martin would not have gotten anywhere near the national coverage that he did if it wasn't for the Young Turks. So, nevertheless, we could have this.
Oh, that's crazy because I never heard the Young Turks when Trayvon Martin got killed by George Zimmerman. I never heard of it. I got that off of regular basic ass news. Matter of fact, I heard it from a radio station first before the Young Turks. I don't even. Yeah. That's the crazy part about it. So egotistical. So egotistical.
Disagreements about specific policy issues, and we do on slogans and framing, etc. For example, defund the police, Latinx. These are normal disagreements within any community, and I certainly would never want to shut that down because we're, again, for open minds.
Thank you
and
for
of course,
liking
we've
my
had some
Please
disagreements
support
on
my
the issue
Sonic
of
friend.
Let me just transgender right.
That's good. Nice.
So let me just say quickly what my position is, because a lot of people outside of the network have been misleading you about this. So I'm for 100% constitutional rights for transgender Americans because why? They're Americans, just like the rest of us, and they should have the same exact rights. They should be protected in bathrooms. They should definitely be allowed to serve in the military. And I happen to think that they should be allowed to play transgender.
Yeah, for context.
In girls' sports.
For context, if it's gonna let me pause it. No, for context, this is Cenk Uygur. He is the. Oh, you already saw this already? Oh. Yeah, but basically, yeah, this guy is popular. I don't know if people heard of Young Turks. He's the head honcho in charge of the Young Turks. In my opinion, a fucking grifter. The only reason I say that is because of his MAGA appreciation, his so-called I am the fucking left and the Democrats need to do better. Also, let's kiss the ass of the MAGA movement, because guys, we keep losing. So it's like, what is it saying? Like, if you can't beat him, join him. It's basically what he's doing. Just stop tapping. God dang it. It's like, I'm joking. But yeah. That's who this guy is, and right now he's talking about how he removed somebody because of disagreements that he's had. I forgot why this even fucking mattered. But it's just interesting to talk about. It's not necessarily him removing this individual, it's the stuff that he's saying. It's the stuff. Sorry, there's people having fun outside. It's the it's the rhetoric that he uses. So just listen.
School. Now, my position on that is not overall popular in the country. I understand that, and I have a strategy for hopefully how to win on that in the long run. But I don't believe that they should be mandated to play in college and professional level. I think the league should get to make those decisions on their own. I think that that is a small disagreement. Obviously, others think that's a giant disagreement.
Yes.
But that's, again, not
so
the
far
issue
left.
here. I think what the issue is when others, among the issues, is when others say, only my opinion is the correct one, the moral one, everyone who disagrees with me is unintelligent, immoral, collaborator, etc. Well, we'll get to the specifics on Francesca in a second. I'm saying that.
That's
in general.
exactly what that's exactly what he says.
they
That's
speak for
exactly
them.
what he
Let's
says.
find out if
Like,
you
if you people follow, I guess I'm the only one that kind of follows these individuals around on YouTube, I guess, and these debate tactics. But that's exactly what he says. He literally says that. If you disagree with him, you're part of the reason. You're a sucker. He literally went after this old guy who predicted the election went wrong. He was like, I tried to tell you, and he fucking insulted the fuck out of him on Piers Morgan. That's what he does. He's a fucking liar. I'm just gonna cover this and I'll probably back out. I just wanted to cover this real quick.
For the left, this is a little bit of Francesca, a little bit of Emma Vigeland from Majority Report, and spliced in is the actual facts about what the American people think, and interestingly, what Democratic voters think. First, let's watch this.
I'm a big Messi fan, but let me just explain this
Answer
to
my
you.
question.
I can't wait for my.
Would you
computer to
allow
come
him,
on.
if he's I'm a woman, to play in the American women's national team?
Yes, right now. Hell yeah, are you kidding me?
Transgender female athletes in women's sports, only 18% of the country says that they should be, in fact, allowed to participate in women's sports.
Your argument is really bad on this, and you're out of your depth. You're correct that trans women should be able to compete in women's sports, but your argument for it is just scientifically and factually incorrect. I'm actually not bad about this. I'm 100% right on this. I don't give a the scientific explanations. People, if they identify as a woman, get to compete in sports. If that's not fair in the short term for a variety of little competitions, I don't give a
And I mean, my goodness gracious, 79%. You rarely get 79% of the country to agree on anything.
because the societal interest of including trans people in society trumps stupid competition. Full stop. So I'm right about this. You're wrong about this.
You'd let Lionel Messi play in the women's national football team and destroy
Hell yeah,
women's football
welcome.
forever. You'd let Usain
it'd be
Bolt.
very difficult
Hang on.
to get a ticket,
hang on.
which would
You
suck.
I want to do a little checklist here. You'd let Usain Bolt compete as a sprinter in the American Olympic team.
Yes.
Okay. You would
Yes.
let Floyd Mayweather compete as a boxer in the women's American boxing team.
Opposing them in women's sports. You get 67% of Democrats, so 2/3 there. You get 64% of independents, so you get about 2/3 there.
So I'm right about this. You're wrong about this.
Okay, generally speaking, if you want to say that you're right about something, sure, everybody has their own opinions, and it's their opinions. That's why they think that they're right. It's
I would say this. See if it pauses for me. Just pause for me real quick. Okay, good. I'll say this. I do think that this past election we did lose when it came to talking about transgender issues. We fucking got demolished on that. I do think it was a talking point that did not benefit Kamala Harris in the election. I don't think that we lost on it. I don't like the way he's placing it. He's putting as if we lost because we supported trans women in women's sports or trans women in women's spaces or etc. I don't think we lost because of it, but I'm sure that it turned people off. I think a lot of people on the left are trying to say, hey, that's not the big issue. You know, I think that we should approach matters differently. I believe that we shouldn't focus too much on that specific. I'd rather focus on trans women's rights, their basic right to live. I wish trans women would stop being unalive, especially black trans women, at a higher rate. That's what I would hope. But you know, that's just me, you know, thinking about, you know, other people as humans and not trying to demonize an entire community. I just don't feel like trans sports is a issue, is like a major issue, right? Or trans women in women's sports is like a big issue right now. It's literally under 1% of individuals. Like, people won't even tell me. I would argue, I would challenge any fucking Republican right now, because I don't know unless I go look it up. Give me the name of a very, very fucking successful trans woman in the NFL. I mean, not the NFL, in the WNBA right now. Just give me like one successful all-star starter in the WNBA who's a trans woman. Because all I get is about whataboutisms. And then I would also ask in college basketball, in women's college basketball, because everybody else, right now, the hottest woman in there, not how I'm talking about skill-wise, the hottest person in the college basketball, for women's, NCAA, whatever, is Paige right now. I can't pronounce her last name. Paige Buchers. Everybody's waiting for her to come out of the WNBA, or come out of the college basketball and jump right into the WNBA. Everybody's talking about the new women's basketball league, Unrivaled, I think is what it's called. It's on TNT. No one's talking about a trans woman in the WNBA and college basketball or these new leagues popping up. No one's talking about trans women in fucking soccer right now. You can't tell me a popular trans woman in soccer. You can't tell me a popular trans woman in any sports in the women's hockey league. You can't do it because they're not there. This is just a fucking smokescreen. It's a myth that trans women are coming into women's sports and dominating and taking women's rights in their. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. And again, it hurt a little bit in Kamala Harris's campaign, but it was not the reason that they lost. But I do think we need to approach it differently and focus more so in fighting and pushing back against these fucking MAGA Republican conservatives and even fucking Democrats who believe that there's a problem with fucking drag hour, you know, or a problem with trans women fucking existing or wanting to take a shit in a bathroom because we're so worried. Oh my God. Like, you're more likely to, like, women are more likely to get assaulted by other women in the women's restrooms than they are to get assaulted by trans women in women's spaces. That's just the way it is. I think people look at the biology and you're like, you don't belong. I don't understand. No, they don't actually care. They don't give a shit. This is just a fucking talking point that they just like to use.
Another thing to say that you speak for the left. As you just saw there.
I know, right? Oh my God, humanity. How dare I?
That is actually to the right of mine.
So
I say that trans girls should be allowed to play in girls' sports in high school. 67% of Democrats say no, not allowed in any.
I can't wait to get my other computer desktop that's on the way. I'm working off of a laptop right now. It should cut the fucking lagging once I get that.
And if Emma, Francesca, and others can convince 79% of the nation that is opposed to that to come over to that side, fantastic. Happy to have it. Okay. So I think where the issue comes in is when things get personal. So we got 3 rules, generally speaking, on air here at TYT that are relatively bright lines. So one is, and I say relative, I'll explain that in a second. One is no lying. 2 is no threats of physical violence. And number 3 is don't denigrate personally the other hosts in the network over and over and over again. And I say relatively bright lines.
And again, not to go back over why this fucking thing lags.
It should be relatively easy to follow, but I get that people have disagreements about, hey, what's a lie? Are what they say about crime stats a lie or not? No, I'm not going to nitpick that. And we get into heated debates from time to time. Me and Ben Glebe in the past, me, Ben Mankiewicz, me, Michael Shore, etc. And I love those debates. And from somebody might cross the line and say something they shouldn't have, but we usually hug it out. And so I'm not nitpicking here. What we're looking for is, hey, are we all rowing gently in the same direction, or someone was drilling holes in the boat? And so are you doing it over and over again on purpose to try to create an issue? Or even if you're not trying to do it, you are creating an issue by constantly attacking our own. And I have applied this 2 other times, which I'll tell you about in a minute. This all started, unfortunately, when I went on Francesca's show, and we had what seemed like a normal conversation and debate about this issue until it made a turn. And this is part of the turn. Let me show you.
I'm reminded of the book by I think his name is Michael Schneider on tyranny, and he wrote, it's like 20 lessons from the 20th century about authoritarianism and fascism. And one of the things that has come to mind when you say my strategy will protect us is he has this chapter, I'm gonna bring it up, the first part of it, called Do Not Obey in Advance. And he writes, most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. In times like these, individuals think ahead about what a more repressive government will want and then offer themselves without being asked.
I'm gonna
A
spell
citizen
it
who
right.
adapts in this way is teaching power what it can do. In other words, you don't have to do the sort of crackdown on the left around speech, because I'm going to do it for you, or you don't have to come to me.
Cracking down. Again, you're misstating it. I'm doing the exact opposite. You're cracking down by saying, Cenk, you're out of bounds, so you should stop your stupid opinion.
So
and because you're implicating me.
I can't believe that a guy who I used to admire and who I thought had a lot of fight is trying to scratch the back of people who absolutely would never do
right now. I'm looking at the signal.
The same for them.
So we just spent an hour and a half me explaining how I'm not scratching their back. I'm trying to get
But I can show you more clips,
to agree with us on things we believe in, and we've always believed in. And you go back to scratching their back.
That's bullshit. And I wish I had. That's fucking bullshit right there. I wish I had the fucking clip, because when you're talking about scratching their back, this guy right here who claims to be Democrat on the left or whatever the fuck, he goes on the Turning Point. Literally Charlie Kirk's show. Charlie Kirk, the fucking Republican hack, right? He literally goes on that show and he's cheering. He comes back and I think he on that particular conversation with her tries to tell us that, hey, they booed Mitch McConnell when I mentioned Mitch McConnell. It's like, we should take that. It's just W, guys. They're booing their own. No. They booed Mitch McConnell not because you just said Mitch McConnell. The only reason they booed Mitch McConnell is because Mitch McConnell told Trump no. He told Trump no, so he just booed. So that's why they were booing Mitch McConnell. I don't know what he thought they were. This is what the only thing that concerns me about Democrats or liberals or individuals like him is he's going to buy into it. He honestly feels like the MAGA is somebody or an actual entity that you can reason with. No. So you have to scratch their back. You have to. I think it's just crazy. He doesn't think he does have to. So he's 100%. Francesca, the other woman in the video, it's 100% right on that. And, yeah. I mean, that's just my opinion on it.
The train's running on time. Presumed reference to Germany.
Everything was moving fine until Phoenix started tapping. I'm just saying. Just want to point that out.
I'm scratching the right wing's back by having my opinion. The opinion I've always had, an opinion I've had for years, and you guys have seen for years on the show. But if you don't agree with Francesca in that particular case and some other folks in the extreme left, well, you're not allowed to have that opinion. That is immoral by definition. And how dare you disagree with them? That makes you a right-winger, a collaborator, etc. But if you say, hey, Cenk, look, I know that she's quoting someone, collaborating with an authoritarian government and saying that that's what you're doing and you're helping the right. And that she's not open to the idea
What are you talking
of,
about?
hey, maybe there's a different strategy and a different opinion on this that gets us the same result protecting trans folks or whichever topic we're talking about. Okay, if you're not, and at that point, I certainly hadn't done anything. I think that that was, you know, I didn't appreciate that, but that's okay. We kept going, and she's been on the network since. Then she started to do more and more and more, and it got more and more personal. So after that discussion, this happened.
I like that we can both be very Mediterranean about it and get like super mad, but then rein it in and be cool, and then be like, we're like, yeah, we're just gonna yell, and then we're gonna be fine, and then we're gonna get over it. So that's the kind of beer I like to have.
Yes, thank you.
2 days later.
I mean, I have my own thoughts on like why he's doing it. I think, you know, if you think your brain was broken by the 2024 election, I think we're looking at a case where someone's brain was broken even harder.
Okay, so, but look, guys, if she had said that about another host, I probably would have drawn the line there. But it's about me, so I wanted to give more leeway. My brain is broken. And by the way, that's still, okay, the first time she's getting super personal. Collaborator, maybe that's a political opinion. Now we're a broken brain, even though we were supposed to have a beer and we were supposed to hash it out and be okay afterwards, but apparently not okay afterwards. But then that was the tip of the iceberg. She continued again and again. Here's the next one.
I do think it's sad that even though they allow people like us into the fold and the fray, they refuse to learn from us or
I think
listen
by this
to us.
time, the
And I
Young
think
Turks had
that
pissed off a lot of their
when
former
you have been doing
employees.
this work for so long, and you still cannot grasp the idea of intersectionality, how race and gender and class all intertwine with one another, and how the right, the
Yes,
fascist goal
yes,
is to
agreed.
divide us based on these lines. Like, I don't know like who you are. Like, I'm not even, I don't even know if you're smart. You know what I mean? I don't even know. First of all, I don't know who your political mentors are. I don't know who you look up to. I don't know what your touchstones are. I don't know if you know your history in terms of like civil rights, women's rights, gay rights struggle in this country. I don't know anything. I call into question all of that. It sounds like you are just an opportunistic mouthpiece who wants clicks time and time again.
Okay, so obviously it's getting deeply personal there. Opportunistic mouthpiece, can't grasp simple concepts, not smart. But guys, and I'm not angry. Look, people have different opinions. And
I'm not angry, but I'm
make
going
it
to have a
personal. It is
whole
what it is,
26
right?
minutes on why I'm about to
I'm
fire
more
this person.
sad
I'm not
about it.
angry, though.
You know, I'll say something at the end about that. But
I'm
but
going to say
to
that to
me,
my
the
cat when I kick my cat out. I'm not
attitude,
angry,
that
but,
is
you know.
toxic, and that's what I don't want at TYT. I want to build a community that is really open to conversations. Is they refuse to learn from us. So the idea is, well, obviously I'm right and the only moral center of the universe, and I already told him that, and this guy wouldn't even learn from me. It's just such a deeply arrogant thought that if someone disagrees with you, they need to be re-educated, and maybe they haven't read any books at all. Okay, did she stop there? Of course not.
And yes, as I told Cenk, I do feel very implicated. I have felt implicated by their takes, specifically around crime and policing in years past, definitely by this new heel turn since Trump's reelection, and absolutely by the
W reference.
misrepresentation
It's a wrestling reference, you know, heel
of
turn.
the
Just wanna
Los
point that
Angeles
out.
fires and who the responsibility lies on. It is enraging, to say the least.
The Los Angeles fires are not the responsibility of the mayor. They're apparently the responsibility of Republicans, or I don't know. I don't know what her thought on that is, and I don't know why she's enraged by that, but that's okay. Apparently, I've taken a heel turn. By the way, all those folks, not just Francesca, but others that told you we're right wing, you watch the show every single day, you see us criticizing Trump and Elon Musk over and over and over and over again, telling you how they're going to do a $4.5 trillion robbery in those tax cuts. Yesterday, we talked about how they're already, hammering Social Security and costing good Americans, what they need from Social Security, how they're going to cut $800 billion from Medicaid, how there's a series of robberies on the way, et cetera. But it's okay. Let's just simplify things and say anyone who disagrees with us a little bit is a right-winger. But the good news is at least Francesca will not be implicated anymore. And I never understood that, because she's been saying this for a long time now, that she was implicated by us. Then why keep taking the check? And it's not a big check, and Francesca has had, career before us. She talks about that. Of course she did. And she'll have a career after us. There's no problem with that. So why, if you think we're collaborators and we've taken a heel turn and we're working with fascists, why did you choose to get implicated with us all these days? But good news, no longer implicated. Believe it or not, she did not stop there. This is now another show. Watch.
So Cenk's line up until this point
You
has
should
been,
have turned it into a
it's
taquito.
the collegiate level and above. I think once you get to the college level and above, that's when it's bad. So he would be on board with what the NCAA said recently. But you're so dumb. You're so dumb. I don't even know how to explain it to you anymore. Unless this is
Not
the
gonna
other
lie,
option,
she looks like a
unless
hamburger in that
you also
shirt.
are a transphobe. You know what I'm saying? Unless you also are kind of a misogynist.
Because if you disagree with Francesca or anyone on that part of the spectrum, well, you must be a misogynist. You must be collaborating with the fascists.
That
And obviously you must be
was not
unintelligent.
said, and you are
Now, if I
collaborating with
called her
fascists.
dumb,
I'm just saying, like, you are collaborating when you decide to go and hold hands and try to make us see that, hey, we should start working with the conservatives. We should start, trying to meet in the middle. Yeah, you are collaborating with fascists. I don't want to work with fascists. I don't know why you want to work with fascists, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. As we see, as this country is turning to shit, nobody wants to work with fascists. Who am I? Who the fuck am I?
wonder what her reaction would have been. My guess is nuclear. But I didn't call her that because we have a disagreement. We have a political disagreement. You don't need to make it personal. Not done yet. One last one.
What has it got you? What did it get you when you go and share a stage with Dr. Phil? What did it get you? Nothing.
Yep, you see it, right?
You know
Hamburglar.
Because you look like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You look like a bitch. That's what it is. Like, that's just what it comes down to. You don't look like a fighter. You don't look smart. You look like a bitch. That's just the reality. I've tried to tell it to you nicely. I've tried to tell it to you cordially. I've tried to tell it to you on your show, on my show, on every show. And so either you A, are a bitch, or B, you actually agree with the right. And I'm starting to think, in fact, I do think it's the latter.
Okay. So again, if I had called her that, that would have been a different situation, right? But
Oh my
look,
God.
guys, also on
Just
the
say
policy
it, bro. Like,
or the strategy.
All right.
When you go talk to the right wingers, first
I hate this
did
fucking
that, and
excuse
I
me.
made
If
a
I
lot
was
of
just
that.
say it to
And
her,
there was
it'd
a
be
lot of
completely
blowback
different.
saying don't ever talk to the right wing. But they won the popular vote. How are we going to win
Tell
back
Cascade I
the voters
said,
if
"What's
we never
up?"
talk to them? If we don't win them back, we can't ever win an election. And that doesn't mean the far end of MAGA. It means the independents that voted for Trump and maybe some right-wing populists that voted for Trump. Now I've noticed that that faction is now saying, well, I mean, of course we should talk to the right, but we should only yell at them or we should only accost them. That seems like a really productive conversation. And if
Okay, now that what makes you a bitch. That what makes you a bitch. Understand that the right, the conservative, consistently are the ones to fucking elevate their voice when they're angry at something or angry at somebody. They can't just disagree with the fact, oh, I don't think that, they can't just disagree with the fact of trans women participating. They try to convince everybody that being transgender is a myth. That you're never trans. Being trans, they are mythical creatures. That's what the people that he's trying to say don't yell at say. The right can yell at everybody they want to. They can call it. They can say Puerto Rico's an island of floating trash. Donald Trump can say that Haiti is a shithole country, and like they can say all of this shit. But we have to be nice consistently. That's also what cost us the fucking elections, that we just kept being a fucking cuck. Democrats got to stop being cucks, bro. I want Jasmine Crockett. I want AOC. I want individuals that aren't afraid to fucking cuss and in public or on fucking podcasts and shit to be the head of the party. I'm tired of the fucking cucks. Oh, we gotta be politically correct. Oh, we gotta hold their hands. So fuck that. Donald Trump sat there and made fun of Nancy Pelosi's husband getting beat to death or not beat to death, but getting his brains beaten with a fucking hammer. Everybody laughed, and now he's a fucking president of the United States again. But every time we try to play it nice, we get absolutely nothing, which is what you were saying. He's trying to hold their hands. He's trying to befriend, try to say, hey, let's work with them. Let's stop yelling at them. Meanwhile, they're doing this shit to us. They still do it to him when he's on Piers Morgan. It's like at some point, he's got to stop being a bitch. He's got to stop doing that and just fight back. Fire with fire sometimes. That's what people are looking at. Yo, Democratic voters are starting to lose hope in their fucking candidates, the people that they vote for, because they don't fight back. They don't fight back. That's just my opinion. I agree. You're being a bitch if you do that. If you're doing that, you're being a bitch. That's my opinion.
Now, I guarantee you they'll say, no, I don't mean just yell at them, but just like build coalitions, as Francesca said recently. Apparently, she's changed her mind about being a collaborator, but not with Trump voters. Well, who would it be if it wasn't Trump voters? Those are the folks on the edge of the middle.
How about the people who didn't vote? I forget how it's the people who didn't vote, Chink. The people who didn't vote. The people who didn't vote.
Right, or parts where we agree. Hey, great.
There's a reason why we consistently win the popular vote.
Coalitions with, if it isn't the other
we didn't do
side,
it that time because we just was fucking
and if we talk
disconnected.
to them, what are we doing? Only screaming fascists in their face? Or are we having a human conversation? So look, this is not an attitude that I agree with. Again, there are other shows that love what she's saying. And no problem, to each his own, it's a free country. Go and love that and yell and scream and do all the things that you want to do. But do you think that after you do a joint appearance with Dr. Phil or anyone else, that the very next day all of MAGA is going to show up and go, oh, I changed my mind? You're absolutely right. No, this is a gradual process where Americans begin to talk to one another and start to learn about each other and start, oh, that's what you mean. Oh, that's how you perceived it. And we begin to have human
I understand why you don't like it. I prefer to be called a Democrat.
Again, if you
I have
don't
absolutely no.
you don't want to do that. Plenty of other shows. So
being called that, but I understand how it's difficult because motherfuckers like this, they are the ones they're the ones that are on these fucking podcasts. They are fucking representatives.
I enforced this rule. One was when Sam Cedar was doing Jimmy Doran. They were both in the network. Sam's show was nominally in the network as part of our YouTube partner group, and that's what we were doing early on, and I was happy. And
you know the one thing that I kind of feel like he's doing this shit. I know why he's doing this shit. Yo, what's up? So I'm gonna say what's up. They want me to go back on Trump talk. I'll think about it. I do kind of miss some of the content creators that are. I'm finding some of them on fucking on YouTube. Some of them do have YouTube channels, but they're kind of like they're just posting the stuff they've already done on YouTube. Actually saw that one with Keke Palmer, the movie with Keke Palmer and SZA. Saw that movie with my girlfriend not too long ago, and Josh O'Neill was on it. I was excited to see Joshua O'Neill, like you know the use. I was excited to see him on that. Hey Grammy, what's up? But yeah, it's almost over. It's almost over. It's almost over, guys. Oh my god. And the fact that he's mentioning, he's fucking sitting there. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it again. And the fact that he's sitting there talking about, oh man, I was with Dr. Phil. It's a problem to hang out with Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil literally followed what's his name to fucking give interviews to people being fucking deported, as if the one thing they wanted to do was talk. Like, let's be fucking for real. Dr. Phil went extremely right. I didn't even know that he was like that. He was that way. This is why, go ahead.
Before, and then we stopped doing that since then. So God bless, no problem with that. And in terms of Sam and others leaving at that point, at different points, from that network we were trying to set up. But while they were in the network, I said, Sam, you can disagree with Jimmy all you want. And in fact, I agree with you on the policy you're criticizing him on. But stop doing personal insults. You're doing like personal insult after personal insult. So I talked
That's
to him
in
about
June.
that. He wouldn't
That's in
agree.
June.
He loved the personal insults. He wanted to keep going. And apparently that's a thing that he does like, and that's what he likes to do every time, apparently. And so, okay, that's Sam. But we did enforce it before. And then, ironically, the second time we enforced it was against Jimmy Dore when he was doing it to Francesca. And he'd called her an effing liar, and he'd called her, and he said that she was a paid shill, which is a classic go-to move for Jimmy. Although he misspelled it paid chill, which sounds pretty nice. And I said, Jimmy, you can't do that. Ironically, he's the only one who actually apologized and said, I won't do it again. And he apologized to Francesca. Francesca apparently thought, great. I'm allowed to do this, but no one's allowed to do it to me. Anyway, you guys get it. So I don't, like I said, I want everybody rowing in the same direction because we're trying to build something here. And why do we want to build something? Because we want our movement to be strong.
I didn't get a request.
We want our message to get out there. We want to win over those voters because at the bottom line in all of this is eyes on the prize. You've heard me say that year after year after year. What's the prize? The prize, by the way, note to other online hosts, is not more subscribers. The prize is passing bills because those are the only things that affect our voters, our audiences, their actual lives. Let's pass paid family leave. Let's pass Medicare for all, higher wages, etc.
Everything that the conservatives don't want to happen, Jake. They don't want it to happen. Why do you think people are saying this about you?
Bills. So please, eyes on the prize. And so look, I'm going to show you two charts here.
Uh-oh.
For a reason. There's some Media Matters that
Here comes a Robert Duran
chart recently. You guys, some of you might have seen it on air. And it has the right-wing shows online in red, and it has the left-wing shows online in blue, okay? What we did there, and I hope you can see it, is we put a little bit of a green circle around the TYT show. So the Young Turks is right
This
next to
is
Rogan.
as far as I can get it. I can't
Million
even zoom
subscribers,
in.
one of the largest ones in the whole chart. But Rebel Headquarters is also on there. Damage Report is on there. Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie's on there. And when you put them together, that's 18.8 million. And it is.
Oh my God! It was just to say. Oh, okay.
Presence in online media, period.
Okay.
If you include our alumni, people that have been in part of the TYT network in one way or another throughout the year.
Is he saying that this is the TYT is the largest
subscribers, but with the way that Media Matters does it? Today, actually, when you include all the platforms that we're on, some of which Media
Okay.
Matters
Yeah, he got bought. Yeah, he
we're
got
on,
bought.
We have 27 million subscribers. Now,
He
why do
sold
I
his
tell you
soul.
that? Because, guys, we're trying to build something. Fox News has dominated discourse in this country for at least 20 years, almost 30 now. And they've made an enormous difference, and I think for the worse, for the much, much worse. We're trying to build a network that makes a difference for the better. But by the way, you don't have to agree with us, and you don't have to say, oh, well, okay, then great, and we should help you and support you. No, you don't have to do that. Build something of your own. Instead of being destructive over and over and over again, how about you be constructive? And you say, hey, Jake, I don't like the way you guys are doing the TYT network. And I see that you've had this huge success, and you've given rise to other progressives that are now having success. And it seems like you helped to build something for our side. Well, you know what, though? These days, I don't agree with you. So I'm going to build something larger. Guess what? I would love that. And whether you build something larger or not, you built, let's say you, instead of building a media company or a media show, you built a platform that actually got Democrats elected, but progressive populist Democrats like Bernie Sanders, Ro Khanna, et cetera. And then they got those bills passed. Oh my God, I would love you for it. Please do that. Build something positive. And that's what we're trying to do here, okay? So, and I don't say this just for Francesca, and the reason I'm doing this segment isn't just for her or to explain what's going on.
Like, literally, if you were actually doing that, I would see you on these same fucking shows that you're trying to boost. I would see him not shitting on the left every fucking chance he gets. He goes on Piers Morgan, he's like shitting on the left. If it's not talking about the Palestine versus Israel, he never fucking, always shitting on the left. Like, always. Like, I can't trust somebody that's going to tell me, hey, this is what you need to do, but at the same time, you're still fucking over the people. Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, he is working the system. The system is working, and he's been bought. The only thing that the right needs him to do is stop being pro-Palestine. Is stop talking about G-side. That's all they want him to do. They'll be fully right. They'll be fully right. Right? He wants, if as long as he avoids the power pro-Palestine versus Israel talk, then they'll accept him with open arms. But you can't sit there and try to condemn the fucking media, the left media, about not being on big platforms when your big ass TYT group company social media presence isn't boosting them. Your former employees hate your fucking guts. Francesca's not a small content creator. I hate individuals like that. I'd rather listen to other people. I'd rather go on Piers Morgan, who's the fucking most biased Trump guy that I ever hear, but his shows are fucking entertaining. I'd rather listen to that than a fucking Young Turks. Because I can't trust them. You got so many, the Vanguards, even Destiny. I know people don't like Destiny that much, but I'd rather go on Destiny. I'd rather see Destiny. I'd rather see the fucking Majority Report. I'd rather see Damage Report. I don't want to fuck with, although Damage Report is on the Young Turks, but same old hypocrisy, I guess, is what I'm Terry are
going on. But I do want to be clear with you. It's mainly to tell you what we stand for, not just the media end of it, not just the host, but as a community. We all have to be open-minded and open-hearted.
You're not
enough
listening
to,
to your fucking
things
community.
Done and push
You're not
forward.
listening to them.
Look, last thing is, I wish Francesca well. I mean, she said those things, and I get it. We've got bad feelings these days, but all the power to her, okay? If she can convince the country to be on her side on all these issues, even the ones we disagree on, terrific. Try that. Try to make that happen. And no problem, happy to have it. Like she said, good career before. I'm sure she will afterwards. You can go check her out wherever she is. So I don't have hard feelings. I'm not angry. I'm just done with it. I want a positive atmosphere here where we fight for you guys. And we do that in all different ways. So if some hosts have a different idea on how to do it, great, let's have that conversation. We've had that conversation, those debates, those discussions, so we can get to the right answer and so we can help you guys decide what you believe instead of what we believe. So for folks who don't want to be part of that, bless your hearts. Go get them, Tiger, okay? But for folks who think, yeah, that's a great idea, and I'd love to pass the things that are in your populist plan. 6 incredibly popular policies.
I hate when I hear populist argument. I hate it. I get it, but I hate it at the same time, because in order to think and support a populist agenda, which means it's what's popular, then you would have to ignore certain things. Like, you would have to disbar and not talk about trans issues no more because it's not popular, right? You would have to stop talking about other issues that are actually important because it's not popular. The only things only popular topics right now is immigration, abortion, and the economy. Let's stop talking about the Ukraine war. Let's stop talking about pro-Palestine in Israel. Let's stop talking about that. That's what a populist agenda is. It's ignoring all of the bullshit around the world. Meanwhile, Trump fucks up our fucking relationships around the fucking world. You know what makes the United States? Fucking influence. It's the United States having influence around the fucking world. And the more and more Trump destroys those fucking influences and makes it clear that we cannot be trusted as a fucking country, trust me, people, these MAGA idiots, they're not feeling it now, but they will later when they want to go to fucking Canada or somewhere far away to go on a vacation, and they're turning fucking Americans away because you're no longer allowed in their fucking vicinity. When intel is no longer being shared with the USA, if this is the America they wanted, so it's the America they deserve.
Higher wages, anti-war, etc. Get money out of politics. So if we can do that together, whether we disagree on some issues or not, wonderful. But whatever you do, please roll forward. Please be mindful of others that are, in this community. Care for each other, love each other, and let's try to be positive together. And let's go build something as we always do at TYT. Love you guys. We'll be right back. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true,
sure.
but it does keep you updated on our live shows.
Oh, good gracious. Yeah, basically, all I got out of that fucking piece of thing is basically like people are not to be fucking trusted. Like I don't even know. You have the United States people are top officials, fucking leaking fucking sensitive information to fucking reporters, who are not classified to even know about these fucking situations. It's destructive. It's just destructive. I don't know how anybody with his. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about him in general. I don't know how anybody in the left could sit there and be like, we have to hug our violent, oppressive, hateful, deceptive, manipulating neighbors on the other side of the aisle when they'll literally stab us in the front, they'll stab us in the back. I don't know if anybody remembers Game of Thrones when Jon Snow was in the Watch and they stabbed him like 100 times and they said for the Watch. That's basically how the Republicans or how the conservatives or how the MAGA individuals would react. Literally, violent people were pardoned from the January 6th riots. There was an attempt to remove transgender individuals from the military because being trans means you can't, protect your country or couldn't fight for your country if you're trans. Apparently that's the thing going around today. So I hope that people from the communities, who are in minority communities, people of color, understand the grave mistake that they made. The trans community who voted for Trump understand the grave mistake that they made. The people who protested the vote, I'm talking about pro-Palestine. If you protested the vote, if you protested for not voting for, I'm about to end it anyways soon, Phoenix. If you protested Kamala Harris because you weren't, happy about what was going on in Israel, Palestine, and you wanted to defund or stop funding Israel, understand that there's not going to be a president anytime soon that's going to stop funding going from Israel. It's not going to happen. The Congress won't allow it. It's not going to stop. So basically, in my humble opinion, people who call themselves Democrats or liberals or whatever, and if you're in positions of power or if you're in positions of influence, I believe that you should start actually using that power and using that influence to fight back. Stop being little bitches. Stop trying to be the good guy. Stop trying to be Batman, right? How everybody would say, the passive aggressive good guy, right? Stop trying to be that person and just fuck them up and just tell them, okay, feet to the fire. Punch them right back in the face. Start calling motherfuckers, bad bleach bomb, bad Bill Butch, like do that more. Like, I want to see that more. I think American people need to see that the Democrats actually do have a spine. And right now, I only see a few of them. And this chink is not doing anything good for the cause. So, one day we'll find that way. Anyways. Well, I'm about to start the stream here. I'm about to go play some fucking video games. I'll probably be back on later. I might be on YouTube, might be on Twitch, probably Twitch. And I will, no mercy. I'm tired of the, hold the hands of kumbaya shit. Fuck that shit. And and another thing, we gotta stop bashing our own, bro. Listen, there's nothing that a Republican could do that the rest of the party that the Republicans would fucking bash them for. I don't know why the left did this, and I know people are going to fucking disagree. I don't know why we kept shitting on Biden before the fucking election. 2 to 3 months before the election, all we were doing is shitting on Biden. He has to drop down. He has to step down. Blah, 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 blah. If Donald Trump displayed the same type of shit, that mental things that Joe Biden had displayed, the Republicans would still support him all the way to the end. I would not hear one Republican say he needs to step down. I would not hear one Republican say this is elder abuse. I would not hear one. That's one credit I'll give to the Republicans. That's one credit I'll give to MAGA. One credit I'll give to conservatives. They actually stick behind each other. They actually do support each other. As hateful, as bigoted, as racist as they are, they actually have each other's back. You can't say the same thing about the fucking left. And it's sad but fucking true. Yeah, I don't mind calling out our private. I believe in holding each other accountable, but I believe that there are some things that we have to actually pay attention to. Are we actually holding them accountable, or is that just our ego talking? So, anyways, I'm in the stream. Probably back on later tonight. Thank you, Marquet. Thanks, Phoenix. Thanks, Grammy, for popping up. If you are on TikTok, I'll think about coming back. Reasons I haven't come back to TikTok yet is because because Craziness of TikTok, shout out to Craziness of TikTok if you guys see them, because they've been keeping me informed, and it just looks crazy lately. It looks kind of depressing, and it kind of looks kind of repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again. It's like missionary position over and over again. It's nothing changed, nothing new. So I don't know. I just don't want to be caught up in it. And I know if I see it on a daily basis, I'm going to want to be caught up on it. I don't want to do that shit. So I might go back soon. I might download it again, but I still have it. I just haven't downloaded it back. I haven't, installed it back since they first dropped it in January. So I don't know. Anyways, once again,